Hey, what's up, guys? Filipino Stormers. Welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I am VJ Ai de la Cruz from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, MYX. And for today, we have a multi-award-winning, Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum selling British alternative rock band. They were formed in 2010, so they've been here for more than a decade, and they brought us hits like Pompeii and Things We Lost in the Fire. Their collaboration with Marshmello, Happier. They have over 11 million records sold, 1.5 billion video views, and billions more of streams. And they last visited the Philippines back in January 2015, and now they have a new song out. It's called Distorted Light Beam, which is their first track off of their upcoming 4th studio album, which is being released later this year. So please help me in welcoming Dan, Will, Kyle, and Woody of Bastille.
Hi. That was so impressive.
Yeah,
that was so much information.
But that was all done by you. That impressive track is yours.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations with all the achievements. But first of all, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome back virtually to the Philippines. So how have you guys been? Are you in London right now?
Yes, we are. We're in London today, just kind of doing some filming and stuff. And we've just been very busy. Obviously, in the lockdown, we haven't been able to travel at all. So we just kind of switched the focus onto just the music. And that's kind of what we've been doing for the past year and a bit. And yeah, we're really excited to have the new track out. It's nice to finally press go on this stuff we've been working on solidly for over a year. And and now we've begun.
I just want to go back to what you said about filming today. What are you guys filming today? Is it like an official music video of something? Is it for the new album?
It's well, we can't really say much about it, but it's kind of us just getting prepared for the upcoming year, well, the rest of it, and then hopefully next year. Just kind of because we haven't been able to get together that much, we're now kind of just getting bits of content together and just prepping ourselves visually for the upcoming campaign.
Nice answer. I also because touring isn't a thing at the moment, obviously, and traveling, like Kyle said, we're just trying to keep everything with this new album, with the campaign, kind of as interesting as possible and do as much as we possibly can to sort of fill that gap where we'd normally be playing shows. And it's weird for us. We've spent the last 10 years pretty much playing gigs all the time. So yeah, just trying to make the most out of releasing an album in a sort of slightly new world, you know?
Well, Dan, you've always been vocal about not being that comfortable on stage, but now that you weren't able to go up on stage and perform for some time, how do you feel about performing on stage now? Do you miss it, or are you still a bit afraid of it?
I miss hanging out with these guys. I miss hanging out with our crew, and I really miss getting to play for fans. It's like we are so lucky. We're some of the luckiest people in the world that we get to go to different countries, and that we get to have people sing our songs back at us, and have people who we've never met before in countries we've never been to care about the songs that we make. That's so mind blowing. So obviously, yeah, I miss that a lot. And when we come back with new live shows, we want to just mix things up a bit and surprise people. So I guess all of our focus at the moment is on trying to make that as kind of interesting as possible.
Well, we can't wait for you guys to come back here in the Philippines. And speaking of that, do you remember your last visit here back in 2015? What do you remember? Let's start with Dan first, because I think something very, very well memorable happened to you. On stage, you actually injured your finger. I'm not sure if you remember it.
It did, yeah, I remember that. I do.
What did you do?
I cut my finger. I think I like hit my finger on the mic or something.
Oh, I do remember when you left stage for ages.
Yeah.
we just stood there like,
yeah.
I think your finger got caught in the blades of a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. We just had it was part of a sort of tour that we were doing, and it was every second day it was a different country. So we were just on this absolutely sort of amazing whirlwind tour of a part of the world that we hadn't been to before. We had the best time. We had the gig was amazing. I remember the fans being incredible. I cut my finger open, and then we just had a really, really fun night out. And in the day, we'd sort of been like mega speed tourists around the city, trying to see as much as we could. And we have such good memories.
And you absolutely love Balu.
Oh, Balu, yeah, was my favourite.
Would not stop going on about it.
Yeah, the promoter who organised the gig was very keen for me to try Balu straight off stage. So I ate that, and it was delicious.
and you've done it every night since.
Ordering balut from London. But Dan, you're like one of the few artists who enjoyed balut, because it's kind of like an exotic delicacy here in the Philippines, so we're glad you love it. Okay. Now let's talk about your new song, Distorted Light Beam. As you said, you were thinking of new ways to promote it, and the ways that you thought of are very catchy. Like, we were all interested in what Futurescape is. What is this Future Inc? So like, where did this all come from?
I think we just wanted to talk about our relationship with technology and with the future. And I guess we thought it would be fun to launch a big fake tech company and see what people thought, and just try and confuse people. In the world of the album, there's this tech called Futurescape, which is basically like kind of plugging into VR, but in your own brain, where you can do whatever you want. And we thought, rather than making it easy for people, we would just confuse absolutely everybody and launch it as if it was a real thing. So it's been quite a fun couple of weeks putting all that stuff out there, and I guess us getting really confused, and also seeing our fans be like, what the hell are you doing? Have you been hacked?
Well, you were successful in confusing the world, and getting our attention, which is I think the main purpose of it. And now it's out. Can you tell us about the song now? We heard that you actually co-wrote it with Ryan Tedder of One Republic.
Yeah. We came out of a Zoom session during lockdown, and it was really fun. And then we worked on it in our studio back in London. I never actually were in the same room as him, which is just a classic 2020, 2021 lockdown.
I think if nobody has, he's just like an imaginary being. He's not real.
He's a virtual hit maker. But yeah, Ryan's done so many amazing things. He's written songs with Beyonce and Adele and all these huge, amazing artists like Paul McCartney and stuff. So it was a real interesting change to sort of bring someone else into the process of it. And then we've just done everything in our power to make it as weird as possible since then. So made the song about a weird dystopian technology song where Kyle sings like a robot at the end. I feel like Ryan's there to sort of try and help us make it as sort of broad as possible, and then we at Bastille have done everything we possibly can to make it as weird as possible.
But before doing this song with Ryan, how did you guys meet?
We sort of met him, I guess, over the years, in traveling and playing shows and stuff like that. And he's always sort of been very, very nice about us and sort of said that he wanted to work with us. So we thought, in the spirit of this being our fourth album and wanting to kind of change things up a bit, it's actually been quite a collaborative album, even though we've been locked away. So we've tried experimenting with loads of different people, and Ryan was super helpful. Kind of, sort of, he came in quite late to the album process and was just a really good sounding board. We'd like play him tracks, he'd react to them, and we would, it was almost like a kind of A&R role. It was really interesting and really sort of good to step outside of like our comfort zone a bit and work with someone who's been around the block a million times and knows what he's doing.
Okay, let me just clarify something. I thought you guys just worked with him for this song, Distorted Light Beam, but then in your explanation, it seemed like you also played in like the whole album. Was he also part of other tracks in the upcoming album?
Yeah, I mean, this is the song that we sort of wrote and produced with him. But yeah, no, he's just like a very opinionated guy, and so yeah, he kind of helped exec the record, and yeah, so it was interesting. Like some tracks this one he was really involved in. Others he would just sort of like give opinions on, and it was really helpful because you can go down a bit of a kind of rabbit hole when you're making a record, and you know, you're hearing the same stuff all the time. It was so nice having somebody who's completely detached come in with fresh ears and give us some thoughts, which we could, you know, at times we'd listen to, and at times we'd be like, nah.
That's great. I mean, you're putting your foot down as Bastille. Yeah. That's great.
Also, like, I'm a very negative, Eeyore-esque British person who is quite pessimistic, and I hate everything. And he's the most excitable, happy, hardworking American optimist. So I feel like somewhere in the middle we met. And this is where the music came.
And it is important to highlight that Dan just did a Winnie the Pooh reference.
I am so excited for like the memes after this, like Dan's face on Eeyore. I am waiting for that. Stormers, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do that.
Now, let's talk more about the upcoming fourth album. Obviously, we're so excited for it. So, can you describe to us what it's going to sound like? How different is it from Bad Blood, Wild Bird, and Wild World and Doom Days?
Well, yeah, this album, we sort of lent into the idea that it's like a science fiction film, and it's all thinking about the future and different versions of the future. And it's a kind of like tour of, I don't know, I guess because of that, we can sort of go anywhere. It's quite kind of electronic. It feels quite different. It's quite concise, and it's quite cinematic. And yeah, it's all about kind of escapism. We wanted to, I guess, come out of this sort of quite difficult year and a half that everyone's had with the album that is sort of thoughtful, but also just kind of like you could dance to it. I mean, I can't dance, and I'm not going to. I'm going to try not to. But like, we wanted to play something that was like, transports you somewhere else. I think, you know, this year we've all relied so heavily on films and TV and books and music and stuff to take us to the places that we can't go for kind of obvious reasons. So yeah, we wanted to make I don't know, when we sort of decided it was going to be like a science fiction time traveling album, it kind of opened the doors to trying something that's maybe a bit more like, I don't know, concise and pop and upbeat than we've maybe done previously.
Around which time did you guys decide on this futuristic dystopian theme? Was it during the pandemic? Was it inspired by the whole lockdown, the whole can't believe this is happening situation?
I guess it is weird that you know, the last year and a half we've all had has felt like being in a dystopian science fiction film. Like, and we sort of are interested in the fact that all the technology that we have and, you know, our kind of relationship with the internet now feels again like we're sort of like living in some weird version of the future. But a lot of the ideas for the album had sort of initially been seeded. The idea of like dreaming and escaping into different places via dreams was actually already in place before the pandemic hit. But I guess living through that and working so much virtually and all that kind of stuff definitely pushed it way further.
Yes, it definitely did, especially with the music video. Now, here on Mix, you know, since we are a music channel, we're the #1 music channel in the Philippines. We play out music videos on our channel. Fans even vote for it every day for it to enter our charts. So music videos big deal to us, really. So we'd like to know more about the video. Can you tell us about the whole theme? What were your memories shooting it? Because it's crazy. Like it could be an episode of Black Mirror or something.
Yeah, massively. We wanted to make, I guess all of the Futurescape stuff we did was setting up that music video. And I guess the idea is it's set in the future when this kind of virtual dreaming escapist technology has taken hold and everyone's so obsessed with it that they've kind of neglected the real world. So very much like a kind of Black Mirror sci-fi episode. Mm-hmm. We shot it in Serbia with a really brilliant actress called Remy and a director called Jack Payne from the UK. But it was kind of mad going to another country. We wanted to help create this world. And yeah, it's really fun. Getting to make a video sort of felt like being in a band again for a minute.
You flew to Serbia for this? Like, how many hours is that away from you?
So Serbia is not that far, but we were only in Serbia for like 36 hours, and it was a sort of constant shoot. So got there, had a bit of sleep, started shooting at lunchtime, shot right through the evening, through the night, and then had to leave at about 10 o'clock the next morning, straight from the shoot to the airport. So that if Serbia isn't too far away, it's only like 4 hours. But quarantining when we got back to the UK was that was a solid week. But it was worth it. You know, I love the video.
Now I'd like to just confirm this because someone just commented it now on Facebook. Marie Ortiz, one of your fans, says there are some scenes inspired by Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. So is this correct, or is she reading too much between the lines?
There's a lot of kind of nods to different films through the videos, and I'm glad that the kind of cult scene, I'm glad that that's where she sees it. It's not quite as steamy as the scene that she's referring to in Eyes Wide Shut, but yeah, good spot.
Okay, can you tell us more about like the references that you made in the video and the whole concept of it? What can fans like spot there in the video?
Yeah, I guess we wanted to sort of like nod to futuristic science fiction films, you know, from like Blade Runner through to any of the sort of movies that are set in a dystopia. And there's sort of nods to like The Matrix and Ready Player One and loads and loads of other films. But yeah, and throughout the album, we sort of nod quite a lot to a lot of different science fiction movies and books and short stories. So yeah, some of them are really obvious and some of them are more subtle. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot in there. Now that you've put me on the spot, I can't think of anything.
No, you've mentioned quite a few. And one of your fans also on Facebook, Alex Espinosa, says, it's not a Bastille video without film references. Haha. That is true. That is true. Okay, now let's talk about the future. What else can we expect from you for the rest of 2021? What can you tell us as early as now?
What can we tell?
I mean, is it an album? Yeah, the album. There's plenty of aspirations to go on tour again and see people around the world, but it's as soon as we're actually allowed to.
Yeah, it's a very strange time, obviously for everyone, but there's so many things that are teasing us in the pipeline, and we still as yet don't know which ones we'll be able to do and things like that. So
any collaborations that we can expect from the album?
Any collaborations? There is actually. There's a collaboration that I think literally no one would expect. But there's a couple of people on the album. Which has been really fun. But at the album, a whole load of videos, and we just want to keep this weird world that we've started alive for the next few months. And would it be too cheeky if we ask for clues as to who you collaborated with? Like, is it a female, male artist, group, solo, duo? Like, can you give us a hint? And then we'll just, formulate our theories from there. We can confirm that it's a human being that we collaborate with. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. We'll formulate our theories based on that. Okay, now I'd like to ask for your message to your Filipino fans, the Filipino Stormers who are waiting for you to come back here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I guess we just like to say hello, send our love. Hope you like the new music. We're so excited for you to hear the new album. And yeah, we hope to see you soon. Or
As soon as possible, we're gonna come and see you in real life.
Yeah, thanks for being so patient.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And yeah, just hope everyone's doing all right.
Well, we will be all right when you arrive here, when you come here finally, and we get to see your show. So thank you so much for being with us and for spending time with us here. I know it's pretty early there, but thank you so much for doing this interview. We love you guys. We hope you come back here soon. But that is it for our time with Bastille. Thank you all so much for watching. To everyone watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Kumu. This has been DJ Ai de la Cruz from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, Mix. And thank you so much to Dan, Will, Kyle, Woody, and of Bastille.
Thank you.